In this video you will find a few tips that you can do before you go on your first ride with your Kayo K4, and if you want to order one and you want to order some other things that you can have in mind to get directly. First thing you should do when you get it is you should tighten your spokes, and for that you need a spoke tool. The number 4 was good for me, so they have different numbers and number 4 worked well. How you do that, you will find plenty of videos on YouTube. Basically it's like you tighten down your spokes. You use one, then you left 2 out, then you next one, 2 out, next one. You can do that in a way how you like to do it. Of course you should tighten down all the screws, and I can only recommend that a lot because the screws on my fork were loose, the screws on my levers and everything were loose, the screws on my handle were not that tight. Nearly all the plastic screws were good, but a few of them were not, and if you lose them it's difficult to source them again. There's a video I will link up here where you see all the tools you would need for that. It's like an extra video so that you have an overview of everything you need. I did a few small mods and I want to show you. Let's go on the other side. One of my favorite mods is this little rope. You can also get it with a rubber or something. The problem is that this stand it's really nice and it works really well, but it is pretty close to your peg. And if you have your boot here, your heel will be somewhere here, and sometimes you will hit it here and then it will go down. And I had it 2 times that it went down. So there is already a hole in your bike here, and all I did is I made the rope through it, and now I can just make the rope around the stand, and the stand is blocked from going down. And I used like a nylon rope which is a little bit elastic, so it has some room to move. It will not kill the fender, it will rip before it does that, but it worked wonders that this thing will not go down while I'm riding. Second thing I did is that I adjusted this lever. I made it 1 or 2 teeth more up because it was really down here. You have to be careful because if you shift up, you don't want to hit your case. So you have to look out for that. And it helps you. The ideal position would be even a little bit higher for me to be on a level with my peg. But this is also okay how it is now. To access this hole, you have to take out the air filter cover, and I'm going to show you how that sits. So it is this panel, and you have to take it off to get to your air filter. So it is hooked in here and then there, and then you have to push it down, and if you push it down there are like these 3 metal pieces that go into the 3 black holes, and that is how you keep your air filter secure, let's say. Important is if you clean your bike, you have to cover this hole with tape so that no water can go in, and then sit on your air filter, and when you start the bike the water will go into your carburetor and into your engine. My air filter is not installed at the moment. It is one of these sponge type filters, and it is soaking in oil at this time, so that is why it's not in the bike. It took me a couple of rides to figure out that all these panels and all these graphics were covered with another layer of protection film, and it looked sometimes a bit, not so shiny. So take that off if you get the bike. Even this one was wrapped, and I used zip ties to get it properly installed, properly down, that it doesn't fall off. When my bike came from the factory, this fender was touching the frame and it was scrubbing in here. So I show you in a separate clip how I dealt with that. And all I did is I loosened up these 4 screws, and then I put something in between the rear, and you can see there's a little bit of black and metal. So the metal is touching the plastic and the black rubber is touching this. So maybe use an O-ring or whatever you find. And then I just took the original screws and put them back in, and now it's not touching anymore, no more scrubbing. That's all, super easy. In my case, this bike came with a high output LED, and if I turn it on, you will see a big issue. The big issue is not where the light shines, the big issue is this area, because it is super bright, and if you ride in darkness it will blind you all the time. Plus the white fender, it's also super bright. So what I do next is that I'm gonna tape all this black so that it's not so bright to myself and cover it up. And there is a separate video you can look where I show you how to rewire all these and make it waterproof, because the cables are pretty loose on this bike when they come. And there are these connectors which are waterproof, but however I rewired everything here, so you have a separate video for that. Every time before I ride, I take a little Allen key and take the air out of my fork. It's a spring fork, and these forks tend to build up some air pressure, and then you can let it out here. Just open it a little bit till you hear the sound, and then when it is out you can tighten the screw again and go riding. These are all my tips if you get a K4 new or if you are interested to buy it. So I hope this helps you with your decision and makes life easier for you.